Lo-fi and chill.
Oh, yes, good people. That means Midway Radio is back. It's your boy, Carlos, and we're going to get to that. So put it down. Don't you start so early in the show. Look at boy. Welcome. You guys, we're gonna kind of get right into this because you guys, we got Panik.
From the legendary, world famous
Moment, big baby. What up, Panik?
Hey.
Hey, oh, hey, oh.
Hey.
And he is, fortunately or unfortunately, hanging with his neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh, speaking of which,
We're a bunch of fucking Panik over here. We're real cool.
speaking of which,
That's why I said, hey,
Yeah.
I got you.
welcome to Midway Radio. Midway Radio, it's a lot like the 80s, but instead of one-hit wonders, we have DJs. DJs like DJ Shanto.
What up, everybody?
I think he was waiting for his applause. There. Okay. Oh, we got another one. DJ Risky Business. All right. Nobody saw that. Show that again, because otherwise we're not going to hear that.
Oh, yeah. So I also go by Moon Knight.
How can you go by Moon Knight?
You can go. You can go outside is what you can go.
You know what? I can go by whatever the fuck I want.
Speaking of having to go by, someone goes by Ryan Brockmeyer.
Eric the Red.
We never really have released your street name, have we?
No, not officially.
Ryan served a lot. He served a lot on these streets. He's an accredited street soldier. So.
The streets are in the chat room. The streets said, "Wait, what?" Welcome, everybody. How's it going?
The mean streets of Andersonville.
Hey, I've only been in Andersonville for 2 fucking years, all right?
And you're still rough and rugged. And you're still rough and rugged. I don't care what anybody says.
And now Andersonville, you have the madman alderman.
That's
just true.
Himself.
That's hilarious.
This
Actually,
is true.
we will get into that. I have some questions for Panik about that. But you know, O'Connor can't use any of it now because he won.
I'm hoping that he sticks to alderman retirement and like just bows out, because I can totally see him also kind of wanting to stir up some trouble. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see
he's
how
angry
it goes.
because he lost.
Yeah.
Is he out there starting mess?
No, but I'm just he just went so over the top with attacking Andre for past music shit and for his inexperience and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of eyes.
Can we call him Prime on here, seeing how this is Midway?
Yeah, we can.
Okay.
So you think O'Connor's like watching like a bunch of battle videos on YouTube?
Well,
so he could get ready for like the battle.
So, yeah, right.
The next battle, it's gonna be on the mic.
O'Connor's working it out, and
he's got that one nephew that always wears a hoodie, and he's asking him what are proper words to use during a rap song. Excuse me, Charles. Excuse me.
I will say this about Prime. The one thing that I always thought that Prime lacked in the battle, in my opinion, and I mean I've told him this, is I feel like sometimes he goes super hard, but then sometimes he would hold back. Like I felt like when he went against Idea, he like respected him too much. and he held back on him because I felt like he could have really like went in on Idea more, and he was like more interested in like not interested, but he just like he didn't go in on him like he could have, and he kind of like almost like he was young, he was a kid, but I'm saying like he didn't go in for the kill on Idea.
Even though I look young, I'm pretty old.
Oh,
so
no, you are.
It's
like
Harvey. Hey, it's Harvey.
So-
That beautiful.
boy band handsome.
So one thing that I know is like whatever battle you choose in life, it's first and foremost is in the mind. So I think he got defeated by Idea just sorely in the mind.
I agree with
It
that.
was a mental loss.
Yeah, because I think he could have beat him.
Because like you said, he had a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, and because I felt like he went in on
Yeah.
him, and then he just like held back and didn't go. I mean, because I've seen him dismantle people.
Yeah.
And Idea wasn't that special of a battle rapper. He was a great rapper, but he wasn't.
Nah, he wasn't.
He wasn't a killer.
No.
No, that was just my opinion. And but the whole point of me saying that is because they talked about how ruthless he was as a lyricist. You know, like O'Connor's people were bringing up all these things, how bad he was and everything. I'm like, well, you didn't hear half the fucking motherfuckers that went in battles. Like that was. I mean, it's part of the culture. And if you're going up against a female, I'm not saying it's right, but it was part of that culture at that time. The words that they were using.
You know, but at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and say that's not a good excuse. It's like if you're playing baseball and you're known as a slugger and you don't swing for the fences, you know, that's part of the game. When you're battling, going in on somebody is part of the game.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not Prime's fault that these old dudes don't understand how Prime came up. Right?
No.
If you wanted if you wanted Prime to have a different childhood, you should have like, here we go. I'm gonna get super political. You should have shit like health insurance. Should have shit like good education.
Let me just make this statement. The reason I'm saying all this is Prime was a good dude, and that was part of the reason, in my opinion,
right.
While he never went so hard over the top, he could have. And we've seen, you know, some of the stuff he wrote, you've seen him, he was a good writer, but he wasn't an actual dirtbag like he rapped.
Right. So you're trying to say that while they were trying to paint him as this right. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Well, at that age, a lot of us are very mature. We make a lot of things, so
yeah.
I wouldn't say he's a good guy back then.
No. But you know what I'm saying?
He's a good guy. He's more of a good guy now.
No, but I'm saying
he's more mature. You know, that brings out the good guy in you. You know?
Yes, and I'm saying I think who he is now is more who he really is or would become. Back then, he was a kid trying to find himself. I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, and he was trying to figure himself out because, again, you could see. I guess the point is what I'm saying is sometimes when he's holding back, that was because he just didn't have that killer vibe sometimes that other people will just say anything and go fully overboard. And he was like, maybe I won't. Because he said he'd defeat himself mentally sometimes.
Well,
and things like
Could
that.
you imagine if he did go full in on people? Just like unbridled passion up for rap and just killing people. Could you
anybody
imagine?
knows him is this guy because he developed him, he produced him, they had a relationship. I mean,
well, we were really tight beyond the music and stuff.
Yeah,
him and the rest of the crew was really tight. When MGR used to, you mentor him a lot too. I was gonna say something, my brain just died right now. And it was gonna make sense too, but continue talking about something else.
You guys mentored him, and
this is the thing. This is the thing. The thing about Prime back then, I don't know, like now, I really haven't spent time with him now, but back then he lacked confidence as an artist. But his strength was he was very good at networking, and that's why he was successful becoming an alderman. Yeah, 100%. Because he was very good at networking with people and meeting people and talking to them. Yeah, he helped us a lot with some networking in New York. To get some stuff done. So but as far as an artist, he lacked a lot of confidence.
I remember that. I remember him. See again, and that's part of why I think he lost to Idea because he had that confidence issue when I felt he could have beat him.
But a lot of rappers in Chicago that I know, just from my experience, lacked a lot of confidence because there's always been a lot of talented people here, but I just felt like I wish people had a little bit more confidence in themselves because there's a lot of wasted talent. You know
Do you think that Chicago breeds? The hip hop scene.
I don't know. I don't know if I'll just blame it on the hip hop scene. You know, I really don't know the answer. You know, I wish I did.
What I was going to ask was, do you think it has something to do with Chicago rappers like being so good but not being recognized back then in the golden era versus like now Chicago rappers being, because there's many Chicago rappers that have confidence in themselves now today, but back then, you know.
I think the main thing is that they seen people like Kanye, like Chance. So once you start seeing that, then Chicago starts bringing that confidence. And I think you're right about that. Back then, we weren't seeing explosiveness like that. Yeah. You know, so once you're seeing Kanye and Chance and different people like that being successful, then that kind of set the bar and it kind of helped the younger generation being more confident and being like, yeah, Kanye did it, Chance did it, Vic Mensa, whoever else, you know. So now we have something. So you're right. What you say, you're totally right.
You think it's just how the industry was because they were looking for like cats from New York and people from that era or from that area versus, you know, from here. Like I really feel good about this new generation of rappers that's coming out of here.
That's great. Yeah.
I gotta give.
Look how many of them have to do it themselves. Like if you're coming out of Chicago, there's a lot of folks from Chicago. Now that the dam is leaking, now everyone is starting to jump in the pool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that has something to do with it where New York folks have the industry there. LA has industry there. Chicago has really good hot dogs. Some pizza.
No, I think the game changed for us in hip hop now. Like technology is probably what's getting us on versus industry. Industry might be in New York, but you know, like the technology that we have, like, you know, it's nothing for a SoundCloud rapper to become famous.
The industry isn't anywhere anymore. The industry's fucking buried. It's not in New York, it's not in LA. I mean, major labels still exist.
Well, the old way of doing things, but the industry itself is now.
The industry,
and I'm not even saying this in a political way. Now the industry is democratized where if you have a computer, you can get after it.
Yeah, the industry is in your fucking hands on your keyboard.
Well, I agree that the industry is democratized, but money will always be part of the industry because it's an industry, you know, so you know, do you pay for followers? Do you pay for promotion? Do you pay to do shows? Money's always going to be. So labels still sort of have a little bit of a grip because they have more money than your usual people.
So here's an interesting thing.
And the connections from decades. You know?
What you just said, pay for followers and pay for that shit, right? Here's something interesting that just hit social media, and I don't know how it's gone to an effect or if it goes into effect, but did you guys read the article about Instagram? Now they're going to put into beta within, I don't know when it's going in, but now they're going to hide like.
Yep.
They're going to
They're going to hide your likes.
They're going to hide your likes and possibly the number of followers you have.
Yeah.
So basically, popularity is not going to be a factor in social media as far as Instagram is concerned, and then everyone's going to follow suit. If IG does this, then people will follow suit because they're concerned about people like. And I don't know if it's some other way that their money, or if they are honestly concerned about people's mental health and far as like, you know, how like that girl who freaked out, who got banned, right? And she's literally on YouTube saying how worthless she is and she has no value as a human being because she doesn't have followers anymore. Fucking insane. Not to young people, to us that's insane.
Yeah.
Young people, it means something. So if Instagram is to be able to do this, then that changes everything again. Because now major labels don't want to fuck with you. It doesn't matter how good you rap. They want to know how many followers you have and how many actual everything you get and things like that. So
well, yeah, but
you can't get a show.
Yeah, but no.
Even though you won't be able to see people's likes and followers on Instagram, the number one place is Google, number 2 place is YouTube.
Sure,
so you're still going to see, that stuff, and you're still going to see streams on Spotify. So, I mean, for sure. So those are the money makers in a lot of the industry. So you're still going to see those numbers. So you're still going to see Facebook, even though to me Facebook now is like worthless to me. But Facebook. The most important thing about Facebook is they own Instagram. So to me,
it's going to tear a lot of people down though. Once they start hiding the numbers, like people, like not just about like rappers or anything like that, but just people who monetize like their Instagram and to get money. Like if you hide those followers, it's over with.
And Facebook, you're right. Facebook's dead because we're older and we're like, Facebook's dead to us. Kids don't even have Facebook accounts.
Yeah. It's Instagram.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Well, kids don't have a lot of money either, so I don't. If I'm selling something, I don't give a damn if a kid is watching it.
Yeah, but they're the ones that the teenagers are the ones that define what's popular and what's cool. Period.
And they're actually really making money. Like they're really going in. Like my nephew, he is I guess a rapper, but he totally goes in on. Yeah, he is a rapper. I'm sorry. He's really doing his thing. Like every time I flip up on his Instagram page, he has a new song, graphics, all that. And he really knows how to bring people into his Instagram. I don't have that. I guess I don't know, but
there's something that money on this. But it's funny because rappers now, I feel like these kids are trained like rap. And I'm not saying that their skills aren't dope, but what I'm saying is the rap isn't the most necessary part.
No, it's the image. It's right now.
I was going to say that's been like that for a long time.
And the image is important, but even as important as that, the ability for them to make a video and know how to socialize on social network is more important than how.
That was the next thing I was going to say. The image, as far as the pictures, but the video is it's the most important.
The content,
thing
the ability to produce content,
because that is your content. The video, you know what I mean?
And the content, the ability to create content is more important than the ability to actually rap.
Yeah,
I watched my nephew build up his page. Like, so basically, he was just schooling me on like new Chicago stuff like that, and I guess there was a big rapper from Chicago. I think I do know his name, but I'm not gonna say it. But there was a big like he was going in on like a Facebook Live, and my nephew said, "Watch this." He typed something in, and we watched it scroll up, and the guy saw it. And he just started going in on my nephew, and my nephew just laughing and laughing and laughing. And as he's laughing, he's getting more like followers on Instagram because people are now. He's starting a trend now because of what he said to this rapper. It was crazy, and he has
it's the trolling aspect.
Yep, that's exactly what he did. And
but that's what it is. That's why, like on YouTube and other places like that, you do those thumbnails where it's like, "Oh, I'm the best rapper. This is the best beat maker ever." Because it gets this hysteria for people.
Yeah.
So the trolling back in the day. See, trolling was peak back in the day, and the G4 and UGHH boards.
There was definitely a lot of trolling there.
There was a lot of trolling on those boards. And who was the king of the trolls back then? Prime was a heavy troll.
There was a lot of trolling.
I know who the king of the trolls on the Mole Man board was. I'm not gonna say it out loud though.
I know
who the king of the. He was on G4 too, big time. Everyone hated that guy.
Wow.
What about the rebirth boards?
What's that?
So what about the rebirth boards?
Jesus
wow.
Christ, rebirth. I think the G4 boards were like the busiest, I would think, huh?
Yeah.
And
there was good shit on the G4 boards. They're actually good. I mean, a lot of info. I mean, it was an era, because what was it, maybe a 2-year period that those were like the information highway that the G4.
The G4 board was the most popular.
You guys had a board too, right?
Yeah. We had a board. The G4 board was the most popular one. It's just that, like, with half of the people or more, I couldn't relate to. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a very popular board. Yes.
Yeah, well, it was, and I'm not saying that it wasn't popular for any other reason, but when you're the first kind of board, they were the first ones.
Yeah.
When you're the first, you build your audience first, and then people add, and it was hard to like do anything else because there were a couple other boards. And one thing I want to talk to you while we're here is you guys were a label outside of a production crew.
Yeah.
And you guys will always forever be an elite Chicago label. And I'm not saying a hip hop label. You were an elite Chicago label. So you were up there with classic labels like Wax Trax to me. And I don't think it's arguable it's not even just saying as a hip hop fan. I think the Mole Men records can go in the short list of Wax Trax, Bloodshot, Chess, all these classic labels. And I know maybe you guys didn't do the same numbers as because you weren't major connected, but as far as the content and creativity, you guys did. My question to you is, what labels did you like outside of yourself that were hip hop labels that you thought, man, these guys really good? You didn't even have to like the music. You just respected them as they got it together.
Well, I mean, I think
I'm not saying you didn't. I'm just saying in general.
Let him answer the question.
I mean, obviously, I like G4's label. They put out a lot of quality stuff, and they worked pretty well. And
they did.
Of course, all natural. You know what I mean? So,
right.
And this is the thing. Like EC, I really liked him from back then because I remember first hearing of him and like on 89.3. And he was kind of just like, he came on the scene with Ill State, and he's just like getting shit popping. So like when he put that Invisible Thing EP, and ever since that, when he was getting his videos on those channels, his promo team, his Wicked team, you know what I mean? So I really admire that.
I will say this about EC Illa. EC, and whether people know or not, I was pretty close friends with EC, personal friends. Yeah. So I will say this without flat out, EC is one of the smartest people I ever met in my life.
I mean,
he's quick, he's smart, he's clever, like all those adjectives to describe how smart somebody is. Yeah. They all fit. And he is truly, genuinely, and I'm not saying that because he's a friend of mine, he is truly like one of the smartest people I've ever met.
I'm just glad that when you asked me that, I thought I didn't forget mentioning him because you know what I mean? Because he's definitely somebody that.
You know who else I thought did really well too is Tim Stroh with Gravel. Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad you feel that way.
That's very politically correct.
Stuff that beef was made from.
And All Natural, and there's more people. I just can't think of. Right now, you know
what other labels were popping? There was
I mean, to do it like the ones we mentioned,
they didn't put out a lot, but Rubber Room, they started to do stuff. Indus, they did Thaw for. And of course, again, like you said, All Natural.
Because then it was just the one-off 12 inches, you know what I mean, and things like that.
Yeah.
And people just put out like one album.
And too, because you and PNS were both buyers, or PNS was.
Yeah.
Were you a buyer as well? I'm assuming.
No. PNS was the only buyer.
But you were there.
After that,
and
was
you saw
Precise.
Everything. Yeah. So regardless, when you came into Gramophone Records for a long time, you saw Panik.
Yeah.
And you saw JR. I mean, the Mole Men were a big reason why.
Speaking about smart guys, like PNS is another very smart guy. You know?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So PNS is always interesting as a producer, as a fan of the Mole Men. For myself, Ryan, PNS was that guy that. So Panik would put out tons of beats, always quality stuff, right? and it was always consistent. When you heard a Panik beat, it was always consistent.
I wouldn't say always quality stuff, but I had a good average. You know, man, I got a good average.
You had a great average. No, you had a good average. And I'm not saying
you had a well above average.
Listen. I'm not gonna say this because you were here. I don't need to do that.
I wasn't batting 1,000, but you know, I kept it up there.
You were Tony Gwynn level. You were Eddie Murray. You were hitting from both sides of the plate pretty solid. Like you were fucking killing it, right? Whether it was instrumentals or whether you were putting out records but you always had consistent stuff. Consistent was you. You were the definition, the consistency. And when I say that, not just putting beats out, but they were always good stuff that could be released. PNS was the guy that every release would only be 1 to 2, but they were so fucking unique and so dope. I mean, they would blow your mind. You would. I mean, out of the whole list of Moment stuff, all of you guys have records at the top of it.
Yeah. I mean, just to think about like PNS, he did a Chicago Rocks, which is crazy. The mixtapes, you know.
Yeah.
What I mean? Which is like groundbreaking as far as the city, you know.
Without a doubt.
And then he did like Fresh Produce. That was like crazy. But then he did like Put Your Quarter Up, where he put Emma of Doom and Slug and Aesop. Like he thought of that and he just made it.
And honestly, then that becomes that becomes a big part of what happens with Rhymesayers in the future.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, not necessarily saying that was the reason that happens but that was something in the early days of what ends up becoming Rhymesayers and what makes them really like Aesop Rock and MF Doom were a big part of what becomes synonymous with Rhymesayers, right?
Back to the label thing real quick. What was the one thing that you learned from another Chicago label? What was the biggest thing that you learned, whether it be All Natural or Wax or anyway? What's the one thing from another Chicago label that you guys were like, oh shit, yeah, we got to start doing that?
That's such a good question. I don't have an answer right now. I had to think about it, but I'll come back to that. I got to think about that.
What's another label that influenced you that's not hip hop? Did you have one? Because I know you were such a hip hop dude, but you are of the age that you grew up with so much other music, and you can see that in your influence of what you. As far
as hip hop, it's not from Chicago, but Rhymesayers is definitely they impressed a lot of people, not just me. You know what I mean? It's the way they just ran a tight ship. You know what I mean?
I know Rhymesayers because I walked into Gramophone, and you didn't force me, but you literally walked me over there and like, you have to buy this.
Yeah. Because I just seen their work ethic, you know what I mean? And it just wasn't from Slug. It was from the label too. Like it just had a tight ship and it was very organized, disciplined, and they had a routine. And
discipline's the key word.
That's why it worked. Discipline is the key word to anything.
Yeah.
You know, diet or whatever you want to save money.
Yeah. You know what I mean? No, but I think that's the key. Because that's the main thing because they had the talent.
And a routine too, though, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, you got to consecutively do things, stay consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, just I think, I don't know exactly what, but I'm sure EC has something that you know.
I'm sure EC.
It was inspiring.
You basically just said how inspiring.
And Unnatural, they had inspirational stuff in G4. You know,
what's your?
That's why I mentioned them because there was something about them that had things going. It was cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What is your I mean, you had a amazing relationship with All Natural.
Yeah.
You did the record, you know, Currency Exchange, the Moment. And
I just did a new album with Cab D. It's
but
coming out.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Did you hear that?
Did you say album,
Carlos?
Did you say album?
That'll come out in a couple of months, according to Dave. So. Breaking news.
I thought you were gonna get the horns. I thought
but you know,
it's a fucking Hispanic or Panik.
It's just me and Dave.
Panik and Capital D record.
It's me and Dave. Now I was very bored in Texas, so I like went crazy with learning about music. But the thing is, what Dave did on the album is just, I don't know, it's crazy. Like,
Yeah,
just
it is.
You know what I mean?
It is.
So my craziness, his craziness, it's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's all I gotta say.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
How did that project come about? Did he reach out to you and say, "Yo, let's do something together"? How did that manifest?
Well, you know how his life's going, and I went to Texas and I went crazy over there, but we never lost contact since I met him. You know what I'm saying? We've stayed in contact. It's just that we actually did an album like probably 8 years ago, but we didn't do anything with that. And we kept talking about doing stuff, but it just came like last August. We just got on the streak and got it done.
So I want to know, where is that album? The one that's lost from 8 years ago.
Yeah, right. I mean, I have some songs. I'll let you hear them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That wasn't bad.
How many songs are on this record?
I don't remember, but I think, I don't know, 10 to 13. I don't know. That average, yeah. Some good songs, man. He got a song with Juice on there. It's pretty dope. He has a song with Master Ace. It's pretty dope.
On this record you're doing?
Mm-hmm. First time Master Ace ever rammed over one of my beats. So
it's nice. I love Ace is still one of the most consistent rhymers, like, to this day. Like, he's one of those old heads that is still doing really dope shit.
What's your favorite All Natural song that's not a song produced by Moleman? Or I guess you.
I mean, you gotta say 50 years, right?
Right.
You gotta say at least that one. But
You say at least that one.
There's more, but I mean,
So It's Okay is a top 3 hip hop song for me. Fuck a Chicago hip hop song. It's a top 3 hip hop song for me of all time.
Cool.
Wow. A lot of people have an emotional attachment to It's Okay. I hear people talking about how that's a favorite song of theirs. Like, I think
I don't know if there's ever been a better meld of lyrics to the vibe of a track. Like,
I can agree with that.
How you created that track and what he laid to it is, I think, one of the greatest. Like, that's the definition of how hip hop should be.
Well, last time I saw Risky, I was telling him, I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna tell you here how I came up with that beat. With Doug Infinite, he did that One Too Many with the Common.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the Real Weight. So they were really on that, like, that sound, you know what I mean? From, like, I don't know, that it's kind of like orchestra theater type stuff.
Strings, like heavy. Like,
yeah, it just had that
orchestra
sound.
Hits.
So that was an influence.
Wow.
And where I came up with that beat. So, yeah.
That's dope.
And we were hanging around with Doug a lot back then, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. And Doug,
and No ID too.
One of the best. Yeah, No Idea, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's One Too Many is so dope.
Yeah.
That's underrated. And of course, the Real Weight. The Real Weight is one of the best. Like,
yeah.
That as far as like the definition of the word a banger that you like fucking break your neck to.
Yo,
I mean,
it's an example that is.
Right? There's not much to it. It's a loop and a fucking and another sample thrown in there, and then and that's it. And
sorry, go ahead.
It's one of those golden loops, I guess, right? As it's just like when you know it, it's it. Because sometimes you can loop something, but it can't stand for 2 minutes where you're like, this is too much, it's too repetitive,
right.
It doesn't work.
That's when you know you have a golden loop. When you can repeat that 2-bar, 4-bar loop and you don't even have to do nothing
for fucking 4 minutes, and you're like, and you want more.
And that's one of those things right there. That's definitely one of them golden loops.
Yeah, the real way, the way the sample is, the way it sounds like, like that. I mean, it's just
it's sonically it has all the right elements in it. It's cut the right way, and it has that vibe, and it just doesn't.
It's like a coliseum, like boom, like really like a big loud kind of this.
And so to the same respect, It's Okay is a golden loop, and I can listen to that fucking thing. I can listen to that instrumental on repeat all day, and it's one of those. It's just like it's just this is what it does to me. It's just it puts me in a place, and it's just slow, and it's vibey, and it's like I did a series of mixtapes called Insight, which was a mix of rock, trip hop, and hip hop and instrumental, and It's Okay was on there with mixed with like Massive Attack. Like nice. That's how it felt to me, and it felt in that place in that musical spectrum. That's where it fit with me. And it's forever one of my favorite records. And then what Dave put to it lyrically is such a great message.
It was perfect for that beat when he was talking.
Yep.
How did you feel when you heard what he did to it? Like,
look, when it's like,
I mean, they could have just rapped and he could have been braggadocious over it, right? But like, because Mr. Liff flipped it the same way.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't even
not the same way.
It.
So Mr. Liff used that. Mr. Flip. Mr. Liff used it, right? And it's no pun intended, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it does not I've heard that sample used a couple of times.
Yeah.
In no way, shape, or form has anybody come close to what you did with it with Dave. And Liff was like really brainy, braggadocious, like kind of nerd rap shit. And I love Liff. I'm not dissing. I'm just saying like that's just what he did.
Well, there's this thing, right?
How did you feel when you heard it?
When I was making beats back then, I didn't know what it was. It was just my soul speaking. But now I know what it is because I took, theory and
musical theory
and learned the bass.
I've seen you on the bass.
Yeah. So you got to hit the pocket. You got to hit the pocket. And a lot of times that's what makes these beats and these songs, even if it's not hip hop, makes us feel a certain way.
You're saying like if you really hit that pocket.
Yeah. And that's with that sample, they had the opportunity to hit the pocket and they didn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you're saying if you hit the pocket when you're producing and you really hit that pocket, right?
Yeah.
Then subconsciously
you're done. You're good.
Fall into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you play it for somebody, they hear the beat.
Listen, I agree because when me and Mike would bring on a drummer, we had drummers that were great with us, and we had drummers that kept on trying to throw fills in and trying to make it all. And we were like, stop fucking doing that. Mike would turn around and be like, do it again, and I'm fucking throwing you out of here. He's like, this isn't the fucking whoever show. Stay in the fucking pocket and just ride the beat and get in the fucking pocket. And it was so important for us to have a drummer that would just be in the pocket.
Yeah.
We'll make a space for you to fucking fill and show off, and you can do a fill as long as you fall back into that pocket.
Yeah. That's where Premier and Jay Dilla, whoever, Madlib, they got us going crazy over their beats because they have their own way of hitting the pocket.
Yeah.
There's not one way to do it. But
and how do you describe the pocket to somebody that doesn't know?
There isn't a description.
Yeah.
You'll feel it in your soul.
Yeah.
You feel it in your bones.
It's a bowling term.
Your brain.
It's a bowling term.
It's
if you hit the pocket in bowling, it's a guaranteed strike.
Back then in the 90s and whatever, Large Professor Pete Rock would be like, it's the funk, baby. So it's like, that's what it is. It's that pocket. It's that shit that hits you. You know what I mean? So.
And I know you were a Super Primo, or you are a Super Primo fan. I mean, you can hear it, the influence in the production. Your style is, I don't know. I've heard. This is me speaking. I personally am kind of over Premier a little bit because I feel like you had a lot more variation to what you created, and you became a little bit more musically expanded. Primo has done 30 years of the same beat over and over with different samples. That's just me, in my opinion. Of
this is a dangerous thing, though, because that with Primo, he kept his sound, right? But you could have that sound, and you could try to grow and learn and show you,
everyone
show that you know how to play a piano and some drums, and then you just fuck up your whole sound.
I'm not mad.
It's happened before,
yeah.
RZA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, there's a thin line between, trying to grow and keep that sound and add something to it. Because if you do it the wrong way or you overdo it, then you're a fucking mess now.
And then does Primo his own worst enemy for creating a sound that he can't escape from because people don't accept anything else from him.
That's the other thing. Like, you fall into this pit of hell that the fans, if they hear something different from you, They're like,
I'm gonna be like, oh, that's not Panik. That's not a Panik
and that's
beat.
the thing. Like people still buy my beats from like 20 years. They usually don't want to fuck with the shit I'm on now. So it's like, so I'm like, cool. I got a bunch of floppies here. Pay me for
So one of the examples of a group that grew, that expanded with their growth, and really, to me, Atmosphere grew musically.
And
grew so, and they really are far away from their original sound.
They were kind of forced to grow, though.
They were forced. I agree with that. Now, I personally will always say that Overcast and Lucy is it for me. And I like songs that they put out, but I'm not a super fan over the newer stuff. That's just me, and it has probably to do with my age and what I loved about them when they first came out.
Yeah,
I'm not saying the music that they make isn't great.
It was that era that they gave you that sound, but the thing that they had to grow is because of the sampling laws. They were gonna get killed with sampling, so they had to play their own shit, and that's why they sound different.
And the music they make, and I will say this, as a fan of music, I never say a record is. If I don't like the record in no way, shape, or form, does that record bad in any way? It ain't for me, but I could sit here and listen to a record that I think
there's whack shit out there.
I know. I will say this: everything music is so subjective. I know you guys have your opinions about certain things that people in general do, but like, there's plenty of stuff that I know that ain't for me. That I just say it ain't for me. But I see as a DJ, I see all the value in it, and I play it. I don't even like the record, but I play it because of the moment and where I'm at, and I have to play that particular situation. And I get the value, and the fucking place goes crazy, and I get it.
Are you talking the chicken dance?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Is it really a value if just because stupid people like things?
Yeah,
does that make it valuable?
But that's just it. If stupid people are paying your bills, wouldn't you?
I'd
be making stupid people music if I get paid for it.
That's 1,000%. I mean, it is what it is. I don't have to like everything, and I come from a certain era. That don't mean the record's bad. I mean, fuck, dude. Like,
I mean,
I don't know. Back then, I liked it because there was when I came up listening to stuff, there was whack, and everybody joined the group and said, "Yes, you're whack." You know what I mean?
Well,
and yes, you're dope. But now, it's cool.
We're gonna hide the amount of followers you have.
I'm trying to be political or whatever. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's not for me. It is. You know what I mean? But back then, MC Hammer was whack.
Right.
Vanilla Ice was whack. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody said, "Yes, you're whack."
Yeah, it's whack.
Right.
I agree with that. Well, I'm saying now, let's put it this way. There's certain styles that I'm saying.
But I am like you, though. I am a hypocrite. And I do say, "Oh, it's not for me." You know, I play that game. You know what I mean?
Well, I will say
because that's the era we live in now.
Well, I'm definitely not a social justice warrior, and I will stand by shit. But I will say this: there are like playing okay, so I'll play mainstream clubs, and like without a doubt, like Cardi B, I'm a flat out like as far as like I'm not a fan of Cardi B. But like, I totally get why everybody loves her. I like that shit. I don't.
I want her to fall in a deep hole and never come out.
See, I don't think. I guess.
I'm sorry.
I don't know. Here's the thing, though. As a DJ, you're playing stuff, and you see the value of what it does to a room. And I can't say it's whack. Is she a whack rapper? It's everything. There's so much whackness out there. I guess like it's hard to say what's whack anymore. Like because now it's more like what's dope because so much is like
two things about Cardi B. Like we live in this era now where it's like everybody makes dope beats. So it's like you could say the worst shit ever, but they're rapping over a dope beat. Yeah. So anybody's gonna be able to like it because the beat's cool. Yeah. And then you just say like some basic ass hook, and then that's why the song's good.
Yeah. For sure.
The other thing about Cardi is like there isn't that many successful female rappers, MC, whatever you want to call her, and of course women are going to gravitate towards it.
Yeah, I agree.
And they boom platinum. There's a lot of women that like her because of that.
So like Nicki to me is a dope rapper. I think Nicki because
I don't like Nicki. There's something about her. It's like I like Cardi more than Nicki.
Okay. That's fine. I think Nikki has way more like lyrical value to her.
I agree with.
He's writing Cardi's.
That's what I'm saying. I think Nikki is way more of a rapper.
This is the thing. Nikki is more of a rapper, but she ain't hitting the pocket like Cardi B is.
Okay, fair.
Cardi is definitely a performer. She's doing she's reciting those rhymes because somebody's writing her rhymes, bro. Like she's performing.
Well, yeah,
excellent.
From what I've heard, I don't know, but I've heard Nikki writes all her own shit, and I feel like she does too.
Okay. I'm like Panik. Okay.
I feel like she does.
Bottom line is, I listen to more Cardi B than I do Nikki.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't listen to neither like crazy. But I'm just saying, like, if I had to listen to somebody, I'd rather listen to Cardi.
So
I will say this: we were talking earlier about Chicago drill shit.
Yeah,
this is a perfect example of what I'm saying. I know is dope, but it's not for me. Okay, so I don't relate to a lot of the shit that drill kids are saying. Okay, and it ain't something that I'm going to be rocking and heavy into. But I can listen to it again. But it's very close to what you were saying, so it makes a lot of sense. I think Young Chop is fucking insane. I think he's so dope.
Yeah.
And the beats are dope. And I'm like, oh, I totally get why everybody loves this.
Dude, that beat comes in, you're like, damn.
I love the track and I love how people react to it. But do I listen to it in the car? Like when I'm just riding out? No, I don't personally, because I don't.
Shouldn't, because you look silly.
Riding down the block. I think lyrically what's happening ain't for me with what's going on in drill. I don't think drill, but I'm not saying drill's whack to me. Like drill's dope to a lot of people. I guess that's what I'm saying about what's.
Well, the good thing about drill is they don't need you and you don't need them.
Mm-hmm. That is the fucking truth, man.
Because they got their shit going.
Fan base.
But then again, you don't have to. You got plenty of choices to listen to whatever.
Yeah. You know what I listen to in the fucking car? I listen to fucking The Score.
So I listen to a lot of ignorant shit.
I was gonna ask
to. Oh no, sorry, Sean. No, I don't mean to cut you off like somebody else does. I'm not trying to monopolize the conversation. So please, the question that you're trying to ask a couple of minutes ago.
Thank you. So what I was gonna do is go back to what Chad and Panik were saying about being, like it might not be for them, so they could understand. Like, it seems to me that you might risky do that because you do have music out, maybe, and maybe you might like. Do you have like a patience for music now because you have music out?
How do you mean? Like,
because you have music out, and it might not be for everybody.
Oh, so, no, my shit that I made is very niche-y. It's not made for a mass audience at all. It's going to be like a very few people that dig it. And
does that give you a bigger patience for other music that you might not?
I don't know. I don't necessarily know. I just made a record that I thought sounded cool, but I don't know how to answer that. I guess I'm not sure. I've always kind of liked everything, and I like things that are in small niche music genres. Mm-hmm. So I really kind of love a lot of that type of music. And I feel like sometimes people like get into stuff like that because there's certain people that are into music because they think it makes them part of some cool group or something like that. You get those types. I just like what I like, and I don't really. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it does give you a little bit. Have you always been like that as far as like being a hip hop guy? Because most of us are kind of like, yo, like what's whack is whack, and yeah, I was doing like mixtapes, multi-genre mixtapes in like '95.
Yeah, hipster.
You can, I mean, but it's not like having a wide range of music knowledge, but you still know in '94 you was like, yo, like that was whack versus. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess hip hop wise, but the way we judge things, I think we're a little different then. Like,
oh, for me, as
it was like things were like. and things. I definitely think like now we have a tendency to be a little bit more accepting, like you said. We're kind of all a little bit more like political, right? We can get like that, but I don't know if that's a growth thing for me or if it's back then it was things were more definitively whack, I think, though. Like, because like you said, the beats were whack or everything was ultimately like objectively whack. It wasn't like and
so what
maybe
was something that was
let me say this. Maybe things were so dope that when whack came out, it was so definitively whack because everybody else was such on a higher level. And I'm just saying, I don't know. But now there's so much whackness that the whackness is like all over the place, and we don't know how to define how whack something's whack, I guess. I don't know.
Another thing to consider is the industry was smaller back then. Now the industry is bigger, so it's more of an
There's so much
industry.
shit out there.
It's way more of a business now. So,
do you guys find yourself going back and something that might have been super whack in like 94, 95, and you listen to it now compared to some of the stuff, and you're like, that wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nobody was. Oh, for me.
That's a no.
Yeah. Okay. And I will say for me, definitely like me and you have discussed this. Like,
yeah,
we're like, oh shit, music's so bad now that like it's got us listening to fucking like the Rumpelstiltskin album or something.
Did you just hate Rumpelstiltskin's album?
I mean, I just said that because it's a rare album.
It's so funny. It's so funny you mentioned that about going back to something because I was at somebody's crib and we're just taking turns to play videos or music on YouTube. And I was playing like old shit that I know that I liked and shit was dope. But then this guy plays DC Scorpio and that dude was whack then. And when I heard him, he was whack now. You know what I mean? So, boom, done.
Well,
he did a Van Crack. Remember those gym shoes, Van Crack?
Van Crack.
Yeah,
Van Crack. Wow.
Yeah. But like when I think
Illuminati,
we were talking about like the Bustin' Melons album, we were like, wow,
yeah,
like all those like weird off the wall fucking groups that put out CDs back then. Brotherhood Creed,
MC 900 for Jesus.
MC 900
for
Jesus. Yeah.
That's real.
That's real. You don't know MC 900 for Jesus?
I missed that one.
He's from Dallas, man. I almost met him and shit.
I almost met him.
Now.
I turned the corner
then I came to my senses and took off running.
I turned the corner real quick.
I don't remember the name of the song, but remember the one song that was popular? It was that kid Lucas with the lid off.
That was a dope album. That was a one-off album, but that was a dope. I like that album when it came out.
I remember that song, but I remember him being like an odd 90s like fucking rapper.
I was just so focused back then.
Yeah, he's like
I was at the cream of the crop. They had the 10 groups. Yeah. Listen to them. Yeah. That's it.
As a DJ, I find myself more
definitively. Things were a little bit more definitive.
You got DITC, you got Pete Rock, you got Large Professor, you got Gangstar, Rakim, Coogee Rap.
I'm gonna say something because I'm the only one that Risky hasn't cut off yet, and there it is.
Go ahead. Sorry, Carlos. Go ahead.
No. That's all I wanted. I set you up because I felt left out. Right, I didn't have shit to say. I just wanted to get cut off.
He clowned me one time at Gramophone specifically. I remember this. I walk in and I asked for a rapper, Mean Green.
Oh yeah.
You were like, oh yeah, you're on that shit. And I think Mean Green was a Mean Green from like part of like I can't remember. What's that?
Was he with Mos Def? That Mean Green?
No.
No, he was part of the crew called the Western Hemisphere.
No. So that's the one I was looking for.
You're right.
But there was another Mean Green who was like super whack, who was part of like either Master P or something like that. Okay. And he was popular. And you're like, oh yeah, you want that? And I'm like, he was like clowning me really heavy. And I'm like, oh no, I want the one with Razzcast. Like he was connected with Patchwork, right? Oh, okay. And you were like, nah, you want that song. Like you were like clowning the fuck out of me. I
was true hip hop back then.
Oh yeah,
you were truest of hip hop ever.
Yeah, you were like, oh, we can get you some more of that Silk and Shocker or something like that.
Yeah. Going back to Premiere for just a quick second. I'm sure that all you guys follow Premiere on Instagram and shit. Did you see the photo that he tweeted just a day or two ago?
Yeah.
No.
He was at a fundraiser for the Derek Jeter Foundation, and it's him and Jim McMahon embracing in a photo.
Wow. Oh my God!
And Premier talks about Jim was rapping bars back with the Super Bowl shuffle.
Oh, was he?
My God!
Never heard.
That's
the only one that had it going was the Refrigerator. He had a couple songs. He was with the Fat Boys. He did a couple of tracks with the Fat Boys.
Hey, so
that's dope.
My actually only response to that is I can't believe Jim McMahon's still alive.
Wow. Okay.
That's
very mean.
Holy cow. I'm sad now. Like,
well, look.
Hey, Panik, what do you think about when you're sad?
I cry.
I didn't know that motherfucker was still alive. Yeah. I thought he had like mad concussion problems. He's a
big component. What do you call that? A big advocate about that movement.
Yeah. I just thought he was. Speaking of, unfortunately, I think John Singleton passed today, right?
Yeah. That sucks, man. He was so young, man. 51.
Yeah, he was.
I know.
That's crazy.
So take care of yourself, people, because he had a stroke, and I'm not saying he didn't, but strokes can happen to people randomly. But it's what. Why is this funny?
Strokes are so funny. This guy over here.
You gotta... Yes, the strokes could just happen. Yes.
Well, I mean,
what kind of strokes you talking about?
There we go. Now we're back to being happy.
Hereditary, people can't control that, but for the most part, just take care of yourself. But yeah, he was what, 23 or 24 when he made Boys in the Hood, and that was a classic movie that was super impactful to hip hop culture. And then he made Poetic Justice, which is a good film, and fucking Higher Learning, and
Four Brothers is a kind of a dope movie.
I like that one too.
Yeah, and then I think Snowfall. I didn't watch Snowfall, but I know that was pretty critically acclaimed, and I think that did very well. So, yeah.
So yeah, take care of yourself because strokes happen.
Motherfucker. Hey,
what the hell's going on?
I fucking work with a bunch of fucking Carlos Mencia over here, not Gomez. Fucking
funny. Carlos Mencia.
Thank you. I'm just saying. Oh my God. Anyway, so
I work with my own material.
Oh Jesus Christ! What's your favorite fucking premiere beat? As we're on the premiere,
I can't even.
You get one?
I can't even with that. I mean, you got Mass Appeal, Complain. What you got? You got a bunch of stuff, man. You got the whole group home albums and
the whole group
an incredible masterpiece because you make two horrible rappers sound like
I was gonna say
listenable. Well, that's like unheard of. You made a classic with two whack rappers. How does that happen? You have to be somebody like super. Like
if Primo could do
that means I have a shot.
I mean, Primo
don't you fuel my dreams?
They fed their school for a week.
Yeah.
So if you could see any rapper that you ever wanted to see on a Primo beat, there has to be a rapper that never got on one that you want to see. I know a lot of people wanted M to get on a Primo beat that never really happened.
Yeah, I'm not really a M fan.
Sure.
I don't know.
Is there
because they a lot of the good rappers that I like rapped on Primo beat already.
Is there a rapper you never got to work with that you wanted to work with?
Oh, of course, Jay-Z. Nas. What the fuck? That's the easiest question I got at. Yeah, at least Ryan came with the hardest one. You came with the easiest one.
Okay, hold on. Let's bring this down.
You got this guy.
Fair enough. Is there?
If Rakim is listening, wait, hey,
Rakim's the third one. Because Rakim.
Is there a Chicago rapper that you always wanted to work with? Smart ass.
Of course, Twista.
Okay.
I mean, I'm getting close to working with him. So.
Sure.
because Vodka and him are working on a project.
Yeah,
so I might slide in a beat there. I mean,
that would be amazing. That would be great.
The song they have together is really, really good. Like Twisted rapped his ass off on it.
That's super dope.
It's pretty incredible.
I think it would be dope to see fucking like a psychodrama track.
Yeah, I would love to hear like Buck over a beat. You know what I mean?
That'd be fucking bananas.
It's crazy. Yeah, the whole cycle. Yeah.
That's not fucking.
No, it's not.
That's not impossible.
Yeah.
That's pretty easy, actually. I think.
I loved Payroll, so I was glad to work with him.
Yeah, that's dope. Payroll was dope.
Yeah.
Speaking of
bit of information, you know, is I helped produce a song where Traxter rapped over one of my beats.
Okay, let's talk about
Me
this.
and it was on one of his albums, one of his earlier albums. Yeah.
Oh damn!
Okay.
Really?
Next.
How do you feel about Traxter, the producer? I think he's an amazing producer. Right?
I mean, dude, he's Traxter. What do you want me to say?
Legendary Traxter.
It's like, what do you think about Buck? What do you think about EC? What do you think about Common?
Yeah, right.
It's
yeah,
like
I guess
those are meatballs,
right?
If
like
they're
meatball questions,
they're like staples in the city. They shouldn't be an argument about. Like I was going through like the top songs of all time from Chicago, and like you had Poor Pimp and you had I Used to Love Her, and that's where they belong.
Yeah,
1 and 2. You know what I mean? Because that's what Chicago is.
I actually think Adrenaline Rush should be there.
That was up there too. That was on the top 5, I think, or something like that. But that's what Chicago is to me. You had stuff like Common, and then you had stuff like Psychodrama and Twista and all that shit.
Walker and all those kids.
And the thing that connects it is somebody like Twista, because Twista came from the New York or early hip hop, rock, Coogee rap sound, and then he went to the gangster shit. So it's like that's what Chicago is to me. Like
I agree with
a blend of both of those worlds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then and you've got the extreme on both ends, where you've got the psychodramas, which is the super extreme on that end, right? And then you've got the Cap D, which is the fucking in the Vok Hill, which is the extreme on the other end. And
that's the thing I like with, unlike New York, like New York got stuck, so they had to like sound like New York, and then they end up having to sound like the South or the West Coast. But like we're lucky though, because since we're in the middle, like, and we came up with like Psychodrama and Twist and all that, but we also came up with Common and stuff like that. You really can't pigeonhole our sound. That's the good part about it.
We have no definitive.
So we could do whatever the hell we want. Yeah. We're all right. Plus we got our own slang and we got our own kind of feel. So
straight and the slang is so
that'll define us.
Definitive to each side of the city too. Because not only do you have our own slang that's general Chicago slang, but you have slang that's strictly west side and east side. Or not east side, west side, south side. I don't know. There is no east side to me. It's kind of like.
So that's one thing I know that.
I agree.
Whatever happens, they'll never be able to pigeonhole the sound.
No. What did No ID say? Chi-Town, where we don't fight over coats, because the one that's in the middle is the one that sees the most.
Yeah.
Which is the real way, right?
Yeah.
And it all comes full circle.
Yeah.
Well, we're all the fucking questions now, smartasses.
We're waiting for you to cut us off.
I just muted my mic.
But no, for real. Like, I'm always interested in how folks got into like making music and stuff. What was that for you?
Music's always been part of my life though, because as a kid, as a toddler, like my brother was listening to Marvin Gaye and fucking Earth, Wind and Fire and stuff like that, Heat Wave. So ever since I remember, I have like a really good memory. So like ever since as a kid, I remember that. My sister, we moved to Mexico like for 2 years. She was listening to like what they call romantic music over there, but it was like 80s stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's like I remember eras in my life. And when I started going to grammar school, I was listening to like Huey Lewis and the News and whatever 80s stuff. And then I heard Jam On It on, what was it? What's that? What's the 2 stations?
BMX.
What's the other one doing? Well, one of the damn stations. Yeah. They started playing Jam On It. It was like a big song here in Chicago.
GCI.
Everywhere. GCI. It was on GCI. Then after that, I got into Run DMC, and that was over after that. Yeah. So that's how I got into music.
And then comes the production.
The production, I started DJing, like I started buying like Disco City at Logan Square. I started going buying house records. So I really started trying to be a house DJ. But
which is very natural for a young kid
because,
in Chicago, right?
Because on the north side, well, nobody in Chicago was really fucking with rap like that. It was like house.
Right.
But eventually I started going more into like hip hop and stuff.
Did you gravitate more towards it because it was a little bit more like elite as opposed to like the saturated, drowned out world of house?
The finding the samples was so intriguing to me with hip hop, and then Run DMC was just dominating back then. So it was like just that whole thing. Mantronics
was like a game itself.
Ooh, Mantronics
is like fucking being like Indiana Jones, right? Searching for that fucking perfect. Not to be corny,
I love
like
that
compare,
science.
But like it's literally like digging and it's part of a game of. So it's like adding a game to the pre-production of making a track, and then when you make it and you get that golden loop, right? I mean, what's more satisfying?
That's the thing that got me away from house and into hip hop, because the hip hop had a whole culture to go with it. You know, it had the art part from the graffiti, it had the dancing, it had the DJing stuff, it had the digging, it had the rapper, the MC. So that just sucked me in a lot easier. You know what I mean? It just had so many interesting variables to it.
Yeah. And you made a name for yourself, man. I mean, the crew, obviously, Moman did it. And I mean, you're a large part of how that happened and what became of that. We talk about everybody that got together, you know, and you had named some of the like people past and present that were part of the Moman that you feel would be important names to mention.
Mixed Massacre. I met him in high school with Juan. Juan's the other guy. Those are the two guys that I'll mention, and of course Vakil. Like, you know, like without them, like, you know.
Yeah, and that was the birth of it, right?
Yeah, it was me, Juan, Mixed Massacre, and Vakil.
Yeah.
And who got us and introduced us to, because I didn't know there was like meetings on the south side, you know, because I'm a north side kid. So what got us with that was an Aztec. With Aztec, we were talking to him, and he's like, "Yo, y'all should come down south with me." And we went with him, and that's how I met Ange and just the whole Empire, whatever.
Empire Destruction.
Yeah, everybody there, Vakil stuff. Yeah. Wow. So that's how I got hooked up to everybody.
That's dope. And obviously, then the rest is history. And your relationship with Vakil created so many great records everyone loves. And Vakil to me is one of the most. I mean, he's.
I seen Twisted get initiated into the Empire.
Oh, you did?
It was outside the Blue Gargoyle. They told him to rap, and he's like, "All right, you're part of the crew." That easy, bro. I saw that. It's crazy, man. The things that I've seen was crazy.
Was he rocking the beads, and was it super like?
No, he wasn't like that back then until he got to be Twisted, and he started like dressing like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Cavalier.
Yeah. Yep, Cavalier. That the pre-twist the name.
Yeah, How crazy is it? How crazy is it that like you saw this guy get tested to get put in this group, and then all of a sudden, like, people know this dude all over the planet.
Yeah,
and there wasn't that much. I guess when we look back now, back then it maybe felt longer, but from that late 80s, early 90s moment to 96 when Po Pimp broke, because really Tongue Twister's album was cool, but nobody still knew who the fuck he was.
Everybody was dissing him.
Yeah.
When he came out with the album.
And then Po Pimp comes out. That's the moment.
Yeah,
right?
that's the moment.
And then Adrenaline Rush follows right after that, and the fucking game is over. And I put Adrenaline Rush. I personally call Adrenaline Rush Chicago's Chronic, because sonically, it's insane, like production wise and how everything came together with that record. That's a great record.
Yeah, crazy.
Because how did from that it was a short period, but it's pretty amazing to see. It
happens fast, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then and all the people that were involved, and you know, he had a lot of people that were involved with him in those early days. Titan,
Yeah. Titan was he
Quicksilver
was at the
Cooley.
beginning.
Rest in peace, Quicksilver Cooley.
Yeah, him, Titan, Fear, and Vakil and Quicksilver Cooley were early.
Yeah.
Vakil's early crew.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And Sinister Death.
Yeah, they were part of the No Pity Committee.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy though. I'm just feel blessed to be part of this.
Of that history.
It is history of Chicago, you know what I mean? Because I've seen a lot of things. I mean, I went with Juice to Scribble Jam to Eminem.
Yeah.
I went with Juice to Supernatural in LA.
Yeah.
You know, I've been in No ID's crib where Common just comes downstairs and Chase playing How We Chill Part 2 and they're just listening to it. It's like,
yeah.
And it's me, GR, Jerry, and we're just like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
I'm here at No ID's crib and Common just comes downstairs and we're listening to How We Chill Part 2. Just think about it.
That's something that I always felt should have went down as a Common Mole Man track. I mean, it made sense. Now
we wanted, you know, early in his career, we were asking him, but he's like, I'm already hooked up. So it's like, well, I mean, you got no idea. Yeah. I know how it goes, but at that moment, like, you got to kind of just go with the flow. You know?
Sure.
I mean,
that would have been dope to get him out of Chicago, like Rocks comp.
I would have loved to have him on there.
But at that point, it's beyond him. It's more of a political thing. And it's
there's a lot of things going on. You know?
You got it, like management. It's like more people are deciding for him. If you were to say, oh, we want him on the Chicago Rocks comp, it's like you can't actually just call him and be like, hey, even if he said, yeah, I'll be on it.
Yeah.
He still has to have shit approved by 10 different management. And they're like, and then all kinds of money, all kinds of shit that goes down in that. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So unfortunately, that didn't happen. Doesn't mean it won't. Still, life is life. But
it was easier to get things done in the independent route, getting songs done with Slug or MF Doom and people like that, because it was just straight up dealing with independent artists, even though they were kind of.
How was it working with Cage?
Yeah.
He's such an interesting
personality. We brought him to do a show here, and that's when we got the song done. He was like regular dude. The one that gave us a hard time was Jay Live, which he's a positive guy, but he gave us a hard time.
Yeah, well, that's weird.
Surprising.
It was kind of crazy to me, but I've heard Jay Live's a nice guy. He just wasn't a nice guy to us. So
yeah.
But also too, it's just different people, different experience at different times. So.
Yeah. What was the song with Cage called? With Us, I think.
Yeah, with him and Copyright.
Him and Copyright. Copyright was a dope rapper.
Yeah.
Or is a dope rapper. I mean, not that he's.
Yeah, I don't listen to him
anymore. Yeah.
I just listen to different things now.
Yeah.
Does he still have Stones now?
I don't know.
Yeah.
What's that one song? What's that one song that you got on your iTunes or whatever you listen to that where people are like, no, get that out of there?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Drake. I don't know. I love Drake. I like Post Malone too.
Yeah.
Post Malone brings it.
I mean, I like just a bunch of people that a lot of people wouldn't like. Didn't know Panik, the guy digging into records and making premiere beats. Nah, I listen to everything. You know what I mean? If it's good to me and I like it, I fucks with it. You know?
Right.
Well, it's always subjective.
Yeah. It's good to me. I feel it.
I like Post Malone.
Yeah.
I like when Chad's in the club playing Post Malone and some little kid goes and be like, "You're not hip hop."
Yeah. You know, a lot of people don't like Drake and shit, but I mean, he's dope to me.
Drake is dope. I do. I like.
But then they'll tell me, "Look, this guy is great," and it's like, damn, he raps good, but could he make a good song? That's a different story.
Without a doubt.
And Drake makes good songs.
Well, yeah, right. Drake knows. And Drake is that one dude that like he pulls off the singing really well. The rappy singing, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, the melodic shit. So it helps you construct a song. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Now he adds more song structure to and he makes rap more interesting.
It was just like I was actually talking to Sean about this a couple of days ago. It's like the guys that they have this guitar and they start shredding and but then you got somebody that just plays the guitar real simple, but it's like in the pocket, funky, and just I'd rather listen to that shit than motherfuckers going, you know what I mean? It's like,
it's
so I'm trying to listen to shit, man. This ain't no sport. It's music. You know what I mean?
Why are you sweating?
Give me some funk.
To bring back
give me some groovy shit.
Trying to chill. You're out of breath.
When you see like things that aren't battles and you see DJs and you're rocking and you see them rocking a party and then they start getting like heavy juggling, but it's not on beat and they're scratching crazy and it's like fucking stop. Like I get it, you're flexing. Like who fucking cares?
That's what I'm saying, man. You're not at the DMC, you're at the club, man.
Just
you know what I mean?
fucking play the record and keep it on beat, man. And if you're cutting, keep it in the pocket.
You know who used to drive me crazy? Not who, but I mean just the type of DJ. The one that just kept repeating the record. It's like the next song, Joe. I know you could do that. You know what I mean? Just trying to chill out.
And
here,
like
Joe.
they don't do it like one time, they do it every 3 minutes so everybody knows they can juggle. Who fucking cares?
Play some joints, man. I'm trying to listen to do that shit. Play one song for an hour.
It's not a fucking battle right now.
Yeah.
And this is how bougie I get when it comes to DJs and stuff. I'll be at a party out here and the DJ is just kind of like everyone's feeling the DJ, but I'm like, ooh, you just slammed those records together, didn't you? Okay. You didn't even try to blend those.
We don't talk about blending records anymore. That's a fucking thing of the past.
That's a lost science.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now they tell you the fucking BPM, so it should be a lot easier to do it.
Yeah.
So it's like
fucking, everything is a fucking handheld moment in DJing now.
You can adjust BPM.
The fucking program holds your hand as you DJ now. And they have fucking sync buttons.
And they still can't blend shit.
There's fucking sync buttons that say blend me. Like, we'll do it for you. Just hit the button.
Back in the days, people had like fucked up turntables. One did it faster, one spun faster than the other one. They had to like, oh shit.
And you would sit there and you would grab the center of the fucking, like we called it nipple twisting. Like you'd grab the center of the fucking of the fucking platter and slow it down so you could match the fucking beat with a piece of plastic, right? And you had to actually fucking work and use your brain to fucking mix.
We sound like a bunch of old grandfathers talking shit about little kids.
This is every week.
Sometimes I gotta realize I'm doing that shit and shut up because let the kids shine, you know what I mean?
Yep. No.
But they all beat ass. Nah, just let the kids shine, that's all.
Let them shine. But sometimes you gotta be like, "Fuck you."
Right. That's what. Yeah. Like
you weren't there when we had to carry fucking heavy crates. Listen, this kid comes to me one time. Sean, were you there when the kid was like, "Man, you ain't real"? And I'm like, "What real? Fucker. Let me tell you what's real. Records are real fucking heavy. Okay, that's fucking real. My back hurts real fucking bad. You ain't never carried a fucking
spin it on them CDJs, not being a real DJ.
Fuck out of here.
I'll let you in the club if you go get my records.
Yeah.
Like Sean was telling a story a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, where he was, what was it? You had a bunch of records and you're gonna get on the bus, but something happened and you're like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, it's I'm doing Stony Island Arts Bank. I walked to the corner. Like I was gonna walk maybe like a mile with my record bag. I got to the corner, I jumped right on the bus. I'm like, I can't. Jesus Christ. 4 years ago, I would have been able to do it.
4 crates to the fucking bus to get to a gig.
Yo, we used to carry crates and turntables.
See, what happened is Serato got rid of the DJ helper because you used to have 4 kids help you carry crates. Now they all lost your job because you ain't got to carry. So nobody can get in the club anymore because that's how your underage friends got in the club.
What fixed me was I grew up with my mom.
Prime used to come with us to Prime would come with us to fucking to Dumbledore, to fucking Jesse's Blue Groove Lounge at Dumbledore. And he would sit there and wait outside. We'd go there. He'd come with us at fucking 10 o'clock when we got there. And we'd come out at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And he'd still be out there. Oh, my God. Funny. And the story I could tell you, I may have said it before, but I don't know. You ever hear about the first time he ever got in there? He came with me. The first night he ever got in the Blue Groove, he was with me. And he got in and he just goes, all right, I'm in and I want to battle. And he just wants to start, and he just starts going at people. And he just runs up to a circle and jumps in a circle. and he just fucking looks at this tall, skinny, slender black guy, right? And he fucking looks at him and just starts going in on him, calling him names, going at him. And I'm like, yo, Prime, he don't even fucking rap. Mr. Echo's Phantom from fucking Opus. And he just like, he's laughing. He's like, bro, I don't rap. And he's like, and he's just battling. I'm like, yo, this is the fucking Opus. This is Rubber Room. What are you doing? Oh, so epic.
I'm hungry.
One time I remember him battling, what's his name? The guy from Stony Island?
Who, Raven?
He battled Raven.
Oh my
dude.
God.
Raven was retired, dude. This
like
guy's
super
retired. Prime's a fucking asshole, dude. That's all I got. That was a disgusting day. Respect your fucking elders, bro.
Oh God, that's funny.
Bring that shit up when you see him.
I will.
He'd be like, man, I was an asshole.
No, he knows it too. He knows it. Yeah. When Prime got loose in fucking Double Door, that was hands down. That we literally laughed because he's just going in on fucking on Kevin, and he's like, bro, I don't even rap.
Wow.
And he was laughing. I could remember him just kind of giggling like at what Prime's saying to him, like, because he knows, yeah.
Prime used up all his good lines.
Okay. Well then.
Anyway.
Well, yeah. Anyway.
What are
you working on, Los?
What?
What are you working on, Los?
More questions.
Fire away.
Questions. Don't wait on me. Ask questions.
We're waiting on you.
No, that's not how it works. You don't get to just change up the way shit flows.
This or that. What's this or that?
Oh!
You can get with this, you can get with that.
Yeah. Hold up. Wait. Los?
There you go.
This or that. This or that. This or that. This or that.
Panik, this or that. Regular guitar or bass guitar?
Bass, because it's along with drums is the foundation. But I love guitar, the other one too. Man, you ever heard Wes Montgomery on the guitar? Woo! Okay, yeah, but bass though.
You know I can't play my song without a guitar string.
Crambo.
There you go. Tom or Jerry?
Man, you ever seen that thing on Instagram where he's like, look, you flip the cigarette, boom, boom, blah, blah, blah. Look at that motherfucker. That's you gotta be Tom, dude. That shit was pimped as hell back then. The way my man explained it, I had to give it to Tom just because of that.
Just the fact that Tom came out with that big ass bass and was singing to his lady friend. Boy, Tom was clean. Had that zoot suit on.
Mm-hmm.
That boy was clean.
All right. So those that don't know, Panik is now back in the Chicago area. He's back in Chicago. Before he's been in Texas for a while. So Panik, this or that.
Chicago.
Texas barbecue or Chicago?
You asshole.
I'm from Chicago, man. Come on, bro. All
right.
I make barbecue in Chicago, you know what I mean?
Continue the this or that, please, because I'm going to go think of another one now to do.
Oh, well. I'm an asshole because I thought of the best question.
I mean, I love barbecue.
National League or American League?
National.
Nice.
American League I always saw as boring, you know what I mean? But then again, I haven't been a baseball fan in probably like 20 years.
Okay.
But I always liked the National League more.
Hold up. He's rocking a fucking Sox hat.
Hey, I'm rocking a Chicago hat. That's what I'm rocking.
Original production or sample-based production?
Oh, shit. You're an asshole. Both. Nah, it's just both, man. You know what I mean? It's both. It gotta be both, man. Because like I came up with sampling, and I still go back to that because sampling helps me make original production. You know what I mean? So because it just comes back from the crate digging and just learning like shit from back in the days in the 70s and 80s.
For the record, if you don't follow him on social media and you're a fan, you absolutely have to, because he's been doing this series of bringing back and kind of recreating these little videos where he's creating his classic beats. Not just beats. These are fucking classics that you're doing, right?
I'm putting a couple
And
just beats there, but
yeah,
most of them are the floppies. So.
Yeah, you're throwing the floppies in. Is there a name for the series?
Digging in the floppies.
Digging in the floppies. So, boom, you got digging in the floppies, and he throws in a classic beat. You're like fucking a triangle offense.
I just did a freestyle written today.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Like it's just so dope, and you see him kind of fucking banging them out on the fucking pads, and it's it's really cool. I wish like every producer did that.
You know what's crazy
like
though, man? I would love to. Well, you know what? I kind of got the idea from Easy Mo B when he played his discs from his SP1200.
Okay, I never seen that. So
dope. He played Flavor in Your Ear. He played a bunch of shouts like, "Yo, this isn't a bad idea."
Okay,
you know.
Have you seen Rhythm Roulette on YouTube?
Yeah, some of it's cool and some of it's just horrendous. It depends on who's doing it and how they did it. You know?
Yeah.
But some of it's really cool. Like it was cool. I can't think of right now, but there was some real good ones though.
Would you do one?
Yeah, of course.
There was what was his I went to say his name and it went away. We have him interviewed. David Banner. Banner.
Yeah, he had a dope one.
That was dope as hell.
What's the other guy from Atlanta? Oh man, I can't think of his name right now. But he's pretty dope. He makes beats, but he raps mainly.
Stickman or something? Was he Atlanta?
It's not David Banner. It's like a younger version. I can't think of his name right now. Nah. Crit. He had a good Rhythm Roulette. He had a good one.
Good call.
Mad Flavor. What's his name? Original Flavor. What's his name? Ski Beats. He had a good one. He had a good one.
I like how you fucking went to his old shit, Original Flavor, because he was also Real Live too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Real Live was dope.
Man,
Real Love was K-Def and Larry O.
K-Def got some good beats too on that. I think he had a Rhythm Roulette too. Dope.
Yeah. K-Def. Oh, it was later. K-Def and Larry O, right? Was the rapper Larry O. Yeah, Larry O had a big career after that, didn't he?
Man, K-Def's dope. Yeah, but I think they're working on something new with Larry O. You laughing at leave Larry O alone.
Leave Larry O.
He's with K-Def, man.
K-Def, was he related to Marley Marl, or was he just kind of like an understudy?
I don't know.
Was he like Marley Marl's nephew or some shit?
Yeah, he might be, but I don't know. But you know what's the funny thing about that? Me playing those old beats and stuff like that, you get people that just think that I just made that beat right now.
Oh yeah.
Because but that's the great part about but that's awesome though. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're bringing them into something
your beats
new.
Are timeless.
And you're bringing them into something new. So you're having this conversation with somebody that thinks you just made it today.
And they're like, oh, that's fresh. That's so dope.
Yeah.
And the fact using, well, I say fresh because I'm fucking old, but like to me, it's fresh because it's literally like it's fresh to them. They never heard it. It's brand new in the literal sense of the word. But it just means it's timeless. It's not dated. Because some music you hear is 1,000% dated. Like that was an 88 beat.
Yeah.
And it sounds dope to us, but it couldn't survive today. But you make a beat like a freestyler written, and you can put it out today.
I love hearing people just tell me their stories about how they bought 12 inches and it's like their high school or there was a kids or whatever. They just start telling me all this shit, and they're from all over the world telling me this shit. It's crazy.
I can tell you one of my favorite things is buying from Gramophone is the stickers always had the date.
Yeah.
And I remember buying Below the Ground EP.
Yeah.
And getting out of the car, and it was a hot summer day, and I remember going somewhere, and I had that fucking 12-inch in my possession for about 25 minutes before I turned around and had to go buy another one because I left it in the car and it melted.
Oh, shit.
Oh, damn.
It worked out so fast. Like I remember putting it like kind of like on the floor, like in the shade, but it was so fucking warm, and I picked it up and looked at it, and it already had a fucking bend in it, and I'm like, God damn it. I didn't have AC back then.
That's wild. I've never melted a record, which I mean? Maybe there's some that I should have melted, but I never melted one. But I got hit by floods, though. That kind of sucked.
Oof.
Yeah.
Will the record make it through a watered?
Yeah, sometimes, but they're disgusting sometimes.
The record water won't hurt vinyl. It's just the sediment and the dirt that's in the dirty water that fucks it up.
Yeah.
And then if you can clean them, but then the covers and the jacket are fucked up. And that's part of the record experience for some of us. And if the record gets fucked up in a jacket, then the fucking paper will stick to the record. It's a whole process. Yeah. You can clean them, but if it's super dirty water, it fucks the sound of the record up. If it's just because you can take a fucking record and I can put it under the water, under clean water, and it ain't gonna ever change the sound or do anything to a record. It ain't gonna fuck it up. But when you're talking about flood water, that's just gross. It's fucking sediment and all kinds of shit. Yeah. Chicago flood water, that means it's coming up from the sewers, the reality of it.
It's terrible. A lot of shit, literally.
Well, Carlos, are we ready?
Carlos?
He's got something. What was that? Fucking feather duster?
Well, let's go through the formalities here first. Panik, if people want to follow you and know what you're up to, where can they get that information?
You can hit me on my website, paniconthebeat.com, or on Instagram, Panic of the Moment. Or just hit Google and hit Panic Moment.
Google.
I pops up, baby.
SEO for the win, son.
I ain't hard to find these internet streets, you know what I mean?
Internet streets. Risky, your information, please.
DJ Risky Biz 1975 on them interwebs.
Look at how he learns after we've been doing this for what, 2-3 years now?
That's about my learning curve.
That's my boy right there. That's my boy.
Next thing you know, we'll be able to get him a lamp in front of his face.
No, we're good. We're good. We've seen enough.
Fuck you. Is that bright enough for you?
Sean Doe, who also got very, very dark recently here.
What?
Don't be racist.
What's going on?
I'm saying he was in a brightly lit room earlier. Now it's like he's fucking Blair Witch Project and shit.
Yeah.
The sunset.
You can find me
just came back from Cincinnati.
Actually, holy
What's
shit.
going on over there in Cincinnati, man?
You can find me on the internet at DJ SEANDOE on Twitter and Instagram, and on Facebook at Rasan Shondo Hawkins.
Cool. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, 278 Media. The number is 278 Media. And Midway, of course, is Midway DOC across the board. Check us out, follow what we're doing, support us, all that kind of fun stuff. What?
In the Moleman's recent vignette just went up not too long ago. They can check out the vignettes and see the Moleman's.
Oh, nothing better than when that catches you off guard.
Oh, Carlos.
Real quick. So listen. I was surprised by a friend of the show. One, when I show you this, it'll all make sense.
Oh,
okay.
I got a sticker, right? So then that built up to, we've all kind of seen these, but these are relatively new. Your boy did the drawing, and Mr. Doug Inf is he's making all kinds of things. He's made like gift wrapping. He's made He's made stickers. He's made all kinds of wonderful things. And then, actually, let me do this one first. And then he hooked your boy up with one of these because it gets chilly.
Nice.
It gets chilly in the streets.
Well, he really likes you because that shit's expensive at wholesale. So fuck.
I mean, I'm just. And then, not a pair of pants. However, shout out to Shadow Master.
Just so in case you know, Panik, Shadow Master. So Carlos did a drawing for Shadow Master, and Shadow Master took the drawing and had pants made of his costume.
Okay.
True story. So we say something on that almost every week.
Week.
And speaking of Shadow Master, I should probably look up the actual address, but he's got a GoFundMe going on to help him get a new car. So yeah, I'll see if I can find that address before we go. So
yeah, something happened to his car. What was it?
Did he get into an accident or somebody hit it?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, let me finish up with this. So yeah, and then Doug went and made some patches. Like I can sew this.
Oh, those are dope.
Yeah. Like that's legit.
Yeah.
Dopeness.
That's dope.
So I have to find something to put that on. What'd be dope is getting all you guys to make patches, and we just make a Letterman jacket out of it or something.
Mm-hmm. Put that on the side of the sweatshirt on the arm.
Oh hell yeah! Right. Anyway, so there's that. But then, this one's not done. But by the way, coconutjustice.com, Coconut Justice everywhere else. Do me a favor. There's big things happening at youtube.com/coconutjustice. I need you guys to go over there and follow me. Good things are happening. Got some things in the works. When they start coming out, I will be more than happy to share them with you guys. However, until that happens, so I was looking through Panik's photos, and
why?
because you're easy to find in the internet streets. So then
my God.
we got
I look like somebody. I'm trying to think who that is.
You got superhero action going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he leaping from a building?
It's gonna be like it's gonna be like a kind of like a superhero pose when it's done. It's gonna have like some shit in the background and stuff like that.
You gotta have that logo right there.
You gotta have the Moment logo on that shirt.
Put that logo on there, yo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I said. I'm not all the way done.
He did tell us that.
So yeah, like I got.
Oh yeah, it's there. It's just not.
I got stuff working. It's in the sketch. So yeah. So anyway, I'll finish this up and I'll share it with you.
Cool.
And if you want to make a patch, I know a guy.
Nice.
That's a nice action pose. I don't know what you're going. What's
original?
What is the picture from? Where's the?
I don't have no picture.
Everything. See, that's the thing.
Right. Your creativeness made this.
Right. My thing is this. My thing is when you look at rappers, everybody's doing the same thing. They're all like this.
Yeah.
Right. Producers, same thing. Right. You don't get dynamic poses until you get into like the B-boys and B-girls. Then all of a sudden, right? So then I'm sitting here, I'm like,
you're giving them
I'm not gonna draw another person just standing there. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to do something a little more powerful, a little more oomph.
Okay.
I like it.
That's some straight endgame shit right there.
I could dig it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll finish this up and then I'll share it with you.
Cool. Awesome.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well,
and so I found the thing, and for Shadow didn't start his own GoFundMe. Gizzo Villanueva put that together. So you can go to GoFundMe.com/shadow-master-needs-r-help.
Okay.
Check
So
that.
anyway, good luck to Shadow.
Shout out
Good
to
luck,
Shadow
Shadow.
Master.
Well, at least he's
Yeah.
safe, so that's the most important thing,
So,
right?
yeah. Anyway, all right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Panic, thank you so much for hopping on, and I'm sorry that you had to, you go to your new neighbor's house and
to endure all
now you get to hang out with him more. So but hey, you're an adult.
We
You can make those
apologize in
decisions.
Now he's gonna take you on a tour with all his toys and stuff. But hey, there's a rule. Once he starts doing the voices, you can pull up.
They've never seen that. I don't ever show that publicly.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude, thank you. And next week, I believe, Doe, it is Sean Rocca.
No, next week is
Steve Bravo.
Bravo.
Whoa,
Bravo.
Steve Bravo.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why I said Sean.
Love Noxic.
What Noxic?
I remember that.
But yes.
Steve.
Anyway, until next week, folks.
Have a good one, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.